There are many interesting things that can happen in dreams, and I'm talking about dreams where God's involved. And sometimes there are warnings in dreams. Remember the story that Jesus told us about a man who had a crop that had brought forth plenty, and he had so much produce and different things from his crops, he didn't know what to do with them, and so he decided he was going to tear down all of his little barns and build these big barns. And he says, I'll store up, and I will sit back, and I will eat, drink, and I will be merry. And so God came to him and called him a fool. And he says, because you were rich toward yourself and you were not rich toward God. You remember during the days of Abraham, there was a man by the name of Abimelech who was king with Pharaoh of Egypt at the time, and he had taken Abraham's wife / sister into his palace, and God came to him in the night and said, "You are a dead man." And so dreams can often be warnings, but they can also be very, very spiritual, and God giving you a glimpse of something that's a call upon your life. I had a dream one time in the early days of my ministry, and God woke me up at the wee hours of the morning, and I felt like that God was going to kill me, and quite honestly, because I was involved in a business deal that God wasn't in, and I had not prayed about it, had not consulted God about it, and God was not pleased with it. And he just simply let me know. I sat there on the edge of my bed, and just my heart just pounding, and I could not wait for morning to come so that I can make some phone calls and change all this stuff that I was planning and just get it going, because God had told me, look, this is not what I have for you and Tammy. And we have these things, but the thing about the vision is that visions, like I say, usually happen in your waking hours, and sometimes it's just a glimpse or a moment. But one of the things that's very important to realize that God often comes to people who are walking close to him. In other words, for you to have that wonderful experience to where God just comes to you and shows you something, it has to be a part of the relationship that you have with God himself. And it's just like God said to Abraham, he says, I can show him this because he is my friend. And so if you have a relationship where you're truly trusting God and you're trying to build that relationship with God, and you're in the scriptures and you're praying every day and you're seeking the heart of God, then God will often give you that glimpse of the future, that vision, that thing that God would have for you to know, or maybe it's something that God has showed you to somebody else that you can bring that light into their life. So that's why it's very important that we always work toward the relationship, to build the relationship. And this is like anything else, like in a marriage or anything else, it's the communication. The ability to communicate and just be able to, at any moment, just to talk to God, because you've built that connection between you and God, and you know his voice, and he knows your voice, and the relationship is there. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.